So a couple of years ago, I released a video on YouTube on how to make your own Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason mask. I actually decided to revisit that project and improve my sack bag Jason mask, and I wanted to take you guys along the journey with me on how I would do that. I've actually got the mask here with me, so let's put it on and see how it looks right now before I improve it. And I don't know how well you guys can hear me, but currently this is what the mask looks like. I do think it looks pretty good, but I do want to make it distressed and weathered a lot more. So let's get right into it. So first things first, in order to stain the mask, we will be making a giant pot of coffee. So grab the largest pot in your kitchen and fill it with water, and then turn the element on high. And while I am waiting for the pot to boil, I am having some crab dip for a snack. It is delicious. Now I am grabbing my no-name instant coffee and pouring it into the boiling water. There's no exact measurement to this, so just eyeball it. And as you can see here, there is a lot of froth, so make sure you turn the element down before you add the coffee. And a few extra stirs won't hurt to make sure the coffee has dissolved. Now this step isn't really necessary, but I decided to grab another pot and put a strainer on top of it just to strain out any grains that weren't properly mixed into the coffee. Then go ahead and pour the coffee into the other pot. Since the water is so hot, if you're not comfortable with this, grab a parent or guardian to help you out with this step. Now we are throwing the mask into the pot of coffee. Scrunch up the mask, throw it in the pot, and then grab something to stir the mask around with. About 10 minutes later, I go in and stir the mask again to make sure it gets stained thoroughly. After about 30 minutes, it's time to remove the mask from the pot of coffee. I carefully remove the mask with my hands and then cool it down with some cold water. Then I go ahead and wring out the mask, making sure it's as dry as I can get it. Next up, we will be using my handy dandy hairdryer to dry the mask. Make sure it's the Conair 1875 edition. I'm just kidding guys, any hairdryer will do the trick. And for some reason my hairdryer decided to crap out, so let's just throw the mask in the dryer. And now we wait. When the mask is completely dry, I remove it from the dryer. So now we are finally on the weathering stage, and for this we will be using some dark brown and black acrylic paint. I also use some different paintbrushes and sponges as well as some sandpaper to create damage. So here I am just mixing up some brown and black acrylic paint to make a nice dark brown color for my dirt. And after that, I apply the so-called dirt to the mask using multiple different methods. One of my favorite methods is to use a damp rag to apply the paint to the mask. I also go in with some sandpaper and apply some wear and tear here and there. Next I go in with my big fat paintbrush and do some dry brushing around the edges of the mask. These are the parts of the mask that would get the dirtiest the fastest. And once I am happy with how the first side of the mask is looking, I decide to flip it over and repeat the same process on the other side. It's really just a matter of using some different techniques to create an aged look. This is totally up to you. You can either do an extreme weathered look or a very light weathered look. So guys, that is it for the mask. Let's put it on and let's see how much better it looks compared to when I first started the video. So guys, this is how the mask looks. Honestly, I do think it does look darker, which I really do enjoy. Let me see if you guys can see some nice close-up details of the mask. It is kind of difficult to see on camera. And I think I might as well do a 360 of the mask and show you guys how it looks from the back as well. And overall, I do think the mask looks a lot better. I really wanted it to look like it's been sitting around in a cabin for decades. I really wanted the seam line to be dark and grimy, so I went in with my dark brown acrylic paint, made it look really dusty and dirty, and then I also went around the mask and just kind of did a once-over on the whole thing. And while I did this, I did use reference photos because I wanted to make it as accurate as possible. Now, the one thing I really wanted to do, but unfortunately I didn't have the materials for, is I wanted to add some fake blood splatter on the mask, but I didn't really have any red paint that looked good, so unfortunately I had to skip that step. And I quickly wanted to mention that the video showing off how to make this mask has actually reached 5,000 views, so thank you everyone so much. I am so happy. And of course, if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you go and check it out. Anyways guys, that is it for today's video. Please don't forget to do those 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.